What we're going to do, we're actually going to go through 3 of the basic retrieves for your 3 different types of soft plastics, with your split tail, your paddle tail and your curly tail. With your split tail minnow, probably the easiest way to retrieve them is on slack line, so don't keep the line firm between the rod tip and the lure. When you cast it out, let it hit the bottom. When you'll know it's hit the bottom because the line goes slack, wind up the slack, give it 2 or 3 twitches, let it hit the bottom again. Real crisp twitches, that's the most important thing, because with a split tail, you're trying to get that darting action, not like a paddle tail where you're after a lift and drop. So it's quite easy, thumb up the back of the rod, wind up the slack a little bit, 2 or 3 jigs, wind up the slack, let it hit the bottom again, and you're away, easy as. Okay, so when you're using a curly tail for your bottom dwelling species like flathead and snapper and stuff like that, you flick him out, make sure it hits the bottom. You'll know it's hit the bottom because again, you'll get that belly in the line. Wind up the slack, lift it, and give it 1 twitch at the top. Okay, so again, that's great for flathead and snapper and deep presentations. If you're chasing things like salmon and stuff like that though, a straight retrieve with the rod tip held down, cast him out, let him sink down a little bit, rod tip held down and a straight retrieve, and that'll get that little curly tail just wiggling away at the back there. Okay, so finally with the paddle tail, the most basic retrieve is a lift and drop. Okay, so you flick him out, wind up your slack, big long sweeps of the rod, wind up the slack again. What you're after this time is your lure to come up off the bottom, working its tail, so it's something trying to get away, and then the weight, the internal weight on the head of the lure is heavy enough to make the lure paddle its tail on the way to the bottom again. So longer sweeps of the rod and follow the lure down with the rod tip as it sinks. Okay, so with big paddle tails, if you're chasing inhaling feeders, things that suction feed or eat their prey in one big foul swoop, try not to point your rod at your lure like that, because that fish is trying to suck the lure back into its mouth. So you always try and hold your rod down on the side so that the rod can flex back and allow the lure to go back, and you'll get a much better hookup ratio. With a straight retrieve, hold the rod out to the side. Standard straight retrieve also catches fish with paddle tails. So there you go, there's a few retrieves for your 3 most commonly used soft plastics.